Recent crime data from the FBI is ranking Henderson as one of the safest cities to live in America. But low crime doesn't necessarily mean no crime. Good evening, everyone. I'm Todd Quinones.
And I'm Trisha Keene. Well, some spots in Henderson keep police pretty busy. 13 Chief Investigator Darcy Spears continues her in-depth look at crime hotspots.
Henderson's top 10 list has some familiar places, but there was also a new crime hub in the southeast suburb. Henderson Hospital is number 10 on the list after generating 358 calls to police in 2018. While large properties with lots of traffic generally mean more calls, police say the biggest issue here at the hospital is car break-ins because thieves know it's easy prey.
The nurses usually work 10, 12-hour shifts. You know, they work long hours. So once they park their car, they're not going to see that car again for 10 to 12 hours. So if I'm, a predator and I want to, steal from a car or what have you, that's a great opportunity because by the time the victim discovers the loss, the suspect is long, long gone. Once the problem was identified, Moore says Henderson PD and the hospital teamed up to stop it. We caught several people that were running rings in those auto burglaries, so that significantly dropped the calls for service, at those locations, and that's ongoing. Number 5 on the list takes us to a place where crime calls hit close to home. With 469 calls, the villas at Green Valley. When you look at apartments in a high call volume, it's usually a small group of people driving those numbers. Many of the calls for disturbances are domestic violence or could be just some yelling and arguing. An apartment with, 3, 4 adults, in that apartment, sometimes tensions, can run high. Which brings us to a place locals may go to blow off steam, get a bite to eat, and find some entertainment. Sunset Station is in 4th place with 473 calls. Another new addition to the top 10 is this Albertsons on Lake Mead and Boulder Highway with 477 calls. That's more than twice as many as last year. So why the increase? But there's been a trend as of late that the loss prevention people are encouraged to not engage suspect and people who are stealing merchandise. There's an inherent liability in confronting people. He believes that approach could lead to increased shoplifting. They don't engage them, they kind of let them go. When that word gets around to the community, then you become an even bigger target because they know they're going to be met with little to no resistance. Of course, we get the calls after the fact, and so then in essence, we're just documenting what occurred. Albertsons provided a statement which says in part, we have clearly defined procedures in place dictating when our management teams call for police assistance, and it's always in the interest of public safety, followed by loss prevention. The second busiest location for Henderson police is one of those familiar places that's always in the top 10, this Walmart on Mark Street with 515 calls. And the number 1 location, the other Walmart on Lake Mead with 662 calls. That's 134 more than last year. Most of the calls for shoplifting and suspicious people. Walmart told us in a statement that investing in people and technology is ongoing to address crime, and they say they'll continue to work with law enforcement as part of their ongoing commitment to meet customers and associates' expectations of a safe and enjoyable shopping experience. We have Walmart's full statement on our website at ktnv.com. Later this week, we'll share more insight about Henderson Police's new strategy and where they've seen success in cutting crime. Tomorrow night, where Metro responds most often off the Strip, find out if those crime hotspots are in your neighborhood. That's Wednesday on Action News, live at 11. Darcy Spears, 13 Investigates.